So for those that have been a little curious as to the official release times for Dying Light 2 and what exactly post-launch content is going to look like, obviously myself and everyone and their mother that's pretty much been talking about Dying Light 2 as far as content creators, media outlets, the devs, or even people basically making fun of Techland and their 500-hour comment, we've all known that the game is going to be supported upwards to 5 years after its launch day. We also knew that we were going to get 2 major story expansions. The 2 big questions was really, what was the game going to look like immediately post-launch? Were we going to wait a month, a couple months? Was Techland kind of just going to launch the game, listen to community feedback, maybe there's some bugs or issues that had to be immediately taken care of, and with that in mind, DLC or extra events or content or things of that nature would be put on the back burner? Or even, the 2 story DLCs. This is not a year pass, so we're not guaranteed these 2 DLCs in the span of 12 months. And so it was really anybody's guess as to when we would see the first DLC or what the span was looking like as to when we could expect both of them. But it looks like 2 days ago, and as a matter of fact yesterday, Techland released both a roadmap for content and the official launch times for the game itself, which got me even more excited because I am on the west coast of the United States, so when the game launches it would actually be 4 p.m. Thursday for me. It's nice to have a weird European release for once, although obviously there are some caveats here. As of right now, the only people that can preload are Xbox players, so if you haven't preloaded, you might as well take advantage now. PlayStation and PC users unfortunately have to wait until February 2nd. And because most likely this is going to be brought up in the comment section as well, let's touch on the topic of cross-gen and cross-platform quickly. Someone asked Timon Smectala straight up, and this is what he had to say. It's not going to be there day one. It's something that seems going to focus on post-launch. How soon? I mean, it's kind of anybody's guess. I feel bad for Techland right now. It seems like no matter what, people are already demanding all kinds of things. Cross-gen, cross-platform. Yeah, some people asking for that 60 FPS patchwork for next gen for the original Dying Light, which was announced back in October. And then if you take a look at this roadmap that they show, I mean, they already have events and series planned within the following months. I mean, the first DLC is already expected within the 5 months after launch. It's set for June. There's no exact date as of now, but it's a good rough idea that within 4 to 5 months, we're already going to get that story expansion. I mean, sure, to be fair, we don't know how deep and complex it's going to be. We do know, obviously, it's going to be story related, but is it going to bring an entirely new area? Are we going to continue the story of Aiden? How many new characters are going to get involved? I'm sure we'll see some new weapons and blueprints, but are we going to see some new infected? How massive of an expansion are we really talking here? Regardless of that though, that'll obviously come in time, but I would take this as a massive sign of confidence that they're excited to get this out the door and show us that, hey, they've probably been working on this DLC for quite some time. And I don't want to jump the gun here because, it's easy to just shove a game out the door and say, look, we're working on stuff. We already have DLC planned. And then the game launches and then the DLC gets pushed on the back burner because the game's got to be fixed. But everything I've seen, gameplay wise, uploaded to YouTube, and everyone that I've talked to that's had early access to the game, no one has had any complaints. Genuinely. Everybody I've talked to said that they would have to be nitpicking on the dumbest of levels to have anything to say negatively. I'm sure in time that honeymoon phase will die out and there might be some things that everyone would wish might be a little smoother, but as of now, based off what I'm seeing, based off what I'm hearing, there is no major cause for concern. I mean, sure, you can still bring up that last gen gameplay argument. Someone's bound to. I'm surprised that we're already within the last couple days of January and nothing has been shown, unless they drop something as this video goes up, and I'm basically putting my foot in my mouth here, but it is what it is. And just to be clear, what was shown in the last Dying to Know episode was just a sneak peek. We were supposed to see more. Yeah, they shared that, but that was just a teaser of a trailer of a comparison that we were supposed to see, and it wasn't the trailer we got off of PlayStation, because obviously the game's releasing on Xbox One as well, and people want to see how it looks. And you can't get mad at people wanting to make sure the game runs on hardware that they have. You can run up the argument that you're poor, buy next gen, but especially where I'm at, your chances of winning the lottery are more likely than actually finding a next gen console. Hell, I've been trying to buy an Xbox Series X for the longest and I still can't find any. Anyways, I kind of went off the rabbit hole there. Let's get back to this roadmap. It's looking like as soon as February, we're already going to see some of the first DLC being added to the game. I highly doubt that this is the only free DLC we're going to be getting this month, or at least these two outfits alone. But even if that was the case, this is kind of interesting and exciting for two reasons. One, remember, this game is more of an RPG, so if you played the original game, it's not just cosmetics now. Every piece of equipment that you have, your shoes, your pants, your mask, your jacket, your gloves, all of that now has attributes. It could boost your fighting stance, it can boost your agility stats, and you can mix and match to really start suiting your own play style. Maybe you like fighting a specific way, you might find something that'll complement that, versus, you know, you might like to run or use parkour more in your combat, and maybe you'll find the right outfit to really suit your play style that way. In this box, we see the outfits based around the Peacekeepers and the Survivors faction, so maybe if you mix and match those, Peacekeepers being a little bit more aggressive might help your combat, versus Survivors boost your agility and your parkour a little bit more. I'm hoping there's a little bit more to it, but even, you know, at the start, I'm sure there's already plenty of stuff in the base game, so at the start, this might be plenty as is. March and May, we already have challenges set in place. It looks like those are going to be more based around parkour. In April, we have a series of events surrounding mutated infected. If the current events that we had in the original Dying Light are any indicators as to what the events or series of events are going to be looking like when it comes to April, I'm sure it's just going to be different parts, different tasks. Do those specific tasks and you're going to be given a reward. I'd expect more special infected though, like revenants, banshees, howlers, things of that nature. In the past, in the original game, we've had a lot of events where virals are much more common, so we might be seeing things like that, or maybe even special infected like a mutated viral or other infected that are kind of mixed and matched. But what really got me curious is over here where it says future 5+ years of support, and if you go almost towards the bottom, it says new free and paid DLCs, which I'm assuming is completely separate from that second story DLC. You know, I've been kind of wondering since day one whether if they're gonna do what they did with the original game where we get those bundles that came with outfits, blueprints, unique weapons. They're only a couple dollars a piece. I've said it before, some people love them, some people hate them. I've never minded them, especially since they give you new ways to play the game and enjoy basically killing and maiming zombies. And of course, it's supporting the devs even further. So personally speaking, I really wouldn't mind that. And it seems like with Dying Light 2 being an RPG, and of course, as I said before, with outfits actually having different attributes that have a further deeper impact on your gameplay, it would only make sense for them to continue doing stuff like that. To me, as long as it justifies the asking price, we'll get a blueprint, a new weapon, an outfit with that, then why not? You know, I'm more than willing to spend a couple of dollars to support the devs and find different creative ways to play and keep myself occupied. What had me really curious though was I'm wondering if based off the amount of support that this game gets, you know, if they do the bundles, those miniature DLCs with outfits and blueprints, if they receive enough money through stuff like that, would they consider further major DLC content? You know, like maybe it won't be canonically speaking new story DLC, but at least DLC to keep ourselves preoccupied further. A brand new area outside the city of Villador, or maybe catacombs within Villador that's part of a DLC, new areas to explore, some new infected, some new weapons. How does that sound? Does something like that sound interesting to you? Do you think the developers would be more than willing to consider something like that based off community feedback and how well the game is doing in terms of player count and, you know, those miniature microtransactions, for lack of a better word, because I don't know if you would really call them that. It's definitely food for thought, but obviously new events, new stories, new enemies, new weapons, 2 major story DLCs with more free and paid content along the way. And of course that doesn't count things like improvements, fixes, patches, rewards tied to the events. There's so much stuff right around the corner and I just can't wait. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. How does all this sound? Do you have any questions about the release times? Do you have any questions about this post-launch roadmap? Do you have any more quote-unquote fears about this game? Let's all talk down in the comments section. We have only a week left to release. Let's just keep this dialogue going, keep the hype train building. But like always, my name is Cynic. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you all in my Discord, which is linked down below in the pinned comment. That's a hint for you to join.